Thank you for joining us. We are on location in Boca Raton, Florida for a United States Air Force recruitment program here in conjunction with the Civil Air Patrol U.S. Air Force Auxiliary. We'll meet with various students, motivated students, and recruiters following these messages.
Our school is complicated, so we're pretty about it.
With us now is U.S. Air Force Sergeant Stephen Valentine. It's a pleasure and honor to have you on the show today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
We are here in Boca Raton, and this is one of the U.S. Air Force recruitment endeavors. Tell us a little bit about the challenges you face with the Air Force recruitment.
Some of the challenges would be handling the massive influx of qualified applicants that we have currently, primarily because of the financial climate. We have a lot of qualified applicants trying to get in, and we have limited ability to fill vacancies. So we have the amount of people that want to come in, but currently we have a limited ability to fill those vacancies.
Sergeant, would you say that individuals are motivated due to patriotism, or is it more because of the economy?
I'd be hesitant to give you an answer on either one of those. We have them come in for various reasons. Patriotism is one, and I would be real hesitant to give you an answer on either way. I see them both ways. We have a very strong patriotic element in this area. I've seen kids come in. I've been in the Air Force. I've been in recruiting service for 10 years, and I have kids come in primarily. Sometimes for patriotism.
And is this true for the entire United States, or is it just where you operate?
I would have to say that would be where I operate. I haven't seen the figures on that, but it's been my experience that we have a pretty diverse mix of different reasons why people come in. That the two that you suggested are just two: patriotism, economy. There are different various reasons why people come in. They could be coming in for education, travel. There's a whole host of reasons why people come in. Security. So patriotism is right up there. Why people come in primarily.
Sergeant Valentine, what motivated you to join the U.S. Air Force?
What motivated me to come in the Air Force? I came in 1989. During that period, we were in the Cold War. And I had a strong sense of patriotism, and we had a different foe during that period, and I felt a strong sense of duty and sense of patriotism to defeat that foe, and I joined the Air Force to make it happen. As soon as I joined, I went to Lackland Air Force Base in 1989, and then shortly after. That adversary was defeated, and but I've been in the Air Force now for 21 years, and we've had different adversaries, and I haven't regretted 1 second of it, and I'd do it all over again if I could.
Sergeant, I understand in your Air Force career you had opportunities also to serve abroad. In fact, you were going to the Middle East, to Israel. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that part of the world.
Well, in regards to that particular time, we didn't go because of the particular climate wasn't conducive to us going at that time. That's the nature of the mission, and the mission dictated that our presence was needed, and that's what I signed up for, and I was ready for the tasking at hand, and we did what had to get done, and we're going to continue to do what needs to get done in that area of the world.
Sergeant, this has been a real pleasure. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'll be right back.
I'm Technical Sergeant Lambert, and I'll be your team member, and I'll be your instructor for the night.
Each recruit is now given the distinct title of trainee for the initial phase of BMT. Military training instructors are chosen from across the Air Force's spectrum of career specialties. They are trained professionals of the highest caliber. MTIs demand excellence of themselves as well as those they prepare for the world's greatest Air Force.
With us now are two students at this high school. What are your thoughts with regards to joining Civil Air Patrol and the U.S. Air Force?
Oh yeah, it looks fun. It's good for exercise, good for cardio, everything. My friends are in it. They said I should join it. It's easy, it's not bad, and it's fun.
Civil Air Patrol it teaches you a lot of leadership and gives you a lot of discipline. It's really a lot of fun. You get to see what the Army does, and I think you should join it.
Thank you both very much, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Sergeant Ada Mendoza. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
What motivated you to join the U.S. Air Force?
Okay, I joined because the first reason was to serve this great nation, to wear the uniform. The people really, look into you, you are the example. So also I joined for different opportunities, basically the education and also the job security that the Air Force is giving me right now.
Thank you, Sergeant. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, sir.
With us now is Lisa Rader. Lisa, I understand that you are actually a teacher in this school.
Yes, I am. I teach special ed and American history and world history.
Lisa, this is an interesting experience being here on location at your high school, and I notice so many enthusiastic kids, but also wearing a large variety of very strange kind of excessive clothing. What's your thoughts with regards to that, and how being in the Civil Air Patrol, U.S. Air Force Auxiliary, or in fact later in the U.S. Air Force would actually augment their lives?
Well, we are at a public school and there is really no dress code. I mean, there is a dress code, but it's not as enforced as I believe that it should be. Because it is a public school system, it's a little different than being in the, a private school or a charter school, where things are a little more strict. So when you have students here that are cadets with the Civil Air Patrol, they are actually setting a standard and drawing attention, and other students are, asking questions and becoming engaged. And hopefully the cadets on campus will be role models to the other students that are here to maybe strive for, academic perfection, the way they carry themselves as, young adults, and hopefully that will carry them on.
Lisa, I'd like to ask you as an educator, how do you see the challenges facing social values in general from your perspective as a high school teacher?
Wow, that is really a loaded question. The problem that I see is that the students today don't have the discipline and the structure and the respect for education and authority. And that one of my goals as a teacher was coming from a military family and knowing about the Civil Air Patrol for a very long time to, become involved and get students involved to get them on the right path, because we need more students like the character students that come out of the Civil Air Patrol or the character building that goes when someone goes into the military to improve our society, because I truly think that we've lost American values and the appreciation for what the founding fathers did for us as a nation, and it's a problem today. I see our nation being torn down, bits and pieces, and the students really don't understand about the Constitution and the founding fathers and all the liberties and things that they have, and there isn't that respect for education like there used to be, and there isn't that respect, for someone being in the military. So one of my goals is to bring that to the Civil Air Patrol, and having a son in the Air Force, showing students that, through the Civil Air Patrol, through going into the military, that there's a lot of opportunities for you to become highly educated, highly trained, and to, have your life on the right path. And then hopefully you'll pass on those skills and those values that come with being in the Civil Air Patrol and come with being in the Air Force. You'll pass that on to your children. And that's what I hope to accomplish.
Well, I certainly agree with your thoughts and echo your wishes for the better future for all of us through education and so forth. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for coming.
I'll be right back. With us now are two young students in the Boca Raton area of South Florida. Gentlemen, why did you join CAP?
I joined Civil Air Patrol for the scholarship opportunities and leadership skills.
Thank you, Robinson. Mr. Menino, why did you join CAP?
I joined Civil Air Patrol pretty much the same reasons as him, and I plan on joining the military. Most of my family is in the military, so I plan on pretty much following the same path as they did.
Thank you both very much. I would like to wish you a lot of success in your steps ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Given the demands of serving in the Air Force, every trainee is expected to give 100% at all times. Quitting is not an option. This acclimation to military life includes following orders without hesitation or questioning their superiors. Teamwork is critical. Trainees must live and work as a team in order to graduate from basic military training. For instance, cooperative effort, self-discipline, and instantaneous response are needed while performing drill movements and ceremonies as a team. Trainees also learn how to render proper military customs and courtesies, and with time, develop confidence and pride in their abilities. Great emphasis is placed on physical training, or PT. All recruits must meet the minimum standards for push-ups and sit-ups and successfully complete a 1.5-mile run before graduating from basic military training. The challenging program is conducted 6 days a week and prepares trainees for the rigors of being deployed across the globe in defense of America. Trainees learn to fire the M16 weapon, learn about basic field tactics and security, how to low crawl, how to build defensive fighting positions, and how to erect temper tents. Trainees gain critically important skills in how to perform self-aid and buddy care, as well as how to wear nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare suits, and how to protect themselves against terrorist attacks. Trainees also test their ability by running the obstacle course, where they discover that with the right teamwork and attitude, any challenge can be met.
Hey, let's go. Get up there. Hang that leg straight.
With us now is Lieutenant Colonel Barroso. It's a real pleasure and a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
A question I'd like to ask you is how you see the challenges facing the youth of this great country at this time in history.
Well, right now there's a lot of different things that the youth can do. Unfortunately, most of it seems to be indoors. The country, the youth today is overweight, obese, and some of the things they can do is get out and be more physically fit. Civil Air Patrol offers a lot of great activities, both through the actual cadet programs to advance to the programs. They have to pass a rigorous course of physical fitness standards that increase as they progress through their program. They also offer outdoor activities, FTXs, search and rescue, so many different things.
A little earlier, we had the United States Air Force recruitment event along with the Civil Air Patrol at the West Boca Raton High School, and there were all of these brochures being handed out to many interested students. What are your thoughts on the initiative of reaching out to the young people of this country at this time in history with regards to possible future careers in the military and, of course, meanwhile, with the Civil Air Patrol?
Well, Civil Air Patrol does sort of function for the Air Force, but the Air Force does not necessarily get all of their recruits from Civil Air Patrol. In fact, the majority of cadets that join Civil Air Patrol don't join the military, and those that do, it's divided into all the services of the military. So a small fraction of cadets that join Civil Air Patrol will actually go into the United States Air Force. But it is a good recruiting tool because it is part of the Air Force, so you get to wear the uniform, you get to learn the customs and courtesies of that organization and see what it has to offer, since we do focus mainly on the Air Force aspects of career development, opportunities, and also no matter what branch you join, you do get the GI Bill, which covers, pretty much college, and now they also cover some graduate school.
You've personally been described as an inspiration, an outstanding Civil Air Patrol success story ever since you joined up as a child, like a poster child for Civil Air Patrol, one could say, moving up in the ranks with the highest honors and so forth. Could you share some of your thoughts on this experience and what it means to you from day one?
I don't know about being a poster child, but I have benefited from the program. Of course, with anything in life, you only benefit, you get benefit out of something as much as you put something into it. I was able to put a lot of time and energy into the program, and the one thing that does make you successful in anything you do is just persistence. If you go to school and you persist, you're going to graduate. If you join Civil Air Patrol and you persist in the cadet programs, you're going to be successful because you're going to be able to complete all of the facets of it. It's not a very easy program to complete. Most cadets actually drop out because they get involved in other things. Some people are able to focus on other things and Civil Air Patrol. I was very successful doing that. And I think that's partially one of the reasons why I was very successful in Civil Air Patrol.
And later you joined the military and now are an officer with the National Guard.
Yes, that's correct.
Could you tell us about your experiences in the military?
Well, Civil Air Patrol helped me out early because I learned a lot about leadership, how to work with others, how to respect other people, whether they had the same rank or lesser rank. And that's pretty much, what leadership's about. It's not about what rank you have, but what can you accomplish working with others and just establishing those kinds of relationships. I've been very fortunate to serve overseas, working with not just U.S. military forces, but other countries and diplomatic personnel, and that level of respect and mutual respect in general just carries you a long way.
Do you feel that with all of the distractions that exist in our society today, with games, movies, so many TV channels and so forth, are all of these distractions taking away and undermining patriotic and good social values? And is it therefore, in your opinion, harder to inspire our youth to appreciate the opportunities and liberty available to them in this great country and all that this great country has to offer for their future?
I don't think it's harder. You just have to take a different approach into what you're trying to accomplish. The youth of today definitely have it a lot easier in many ways. When I grew up, it was Nintendo and Sega Genesis. It was very limited, but for us, it was great, equivalent to what today's youth view their Xboxes and PlayStations. But there are limitations, and in the end, if someone wants to get something, they have to go out and work for it. And Xbox is a great distraction. It's a great thing to do when you have free time, but you need to vary the things that you do, because if you just do one thing, that's everything's in moderation, right?
And of course, that would limit one too. Let's talk a little bit about the Civil Air Patrol core values: service before self, the cadet programs, emergency services, aerospace education, and the Civil Air Patrol's purposes today as compared with back in World War II when CAP planes were defending the US coastline and attacking enemy submarines. In fact, as mentioned, we recently had Lieutenant Colonel Buddy Harris, a World War II veteran who participated in such missions, and he told us all about what inspired him to join Civil Air Patrol and the US Air Force. And here we are today. And I'd like to ask you what the roles of Civil Air Patrol are today, now that the world and the United States is facing international terrorism. So many countries are. How is the Civil Air Patrol assisting with homeland security and so forth?
Well, Civil Air Patrol has changed over the last few years, mainly because of the fact of the situation after 9/11. But Civil Air Patrol is great because it offers the average citizen that doesn't want to change their career or their family life to come out and volunteer. There are definitely a lot of activities that we support the Air Force in. The primary one is search and rescue. And then we do also support other military aspects, not so much directly, but in different ways. And this provides a big service to the armed services. For example, to do search and rescue is a lot more expensive if you were to put active duty Air Force personnel with military aircraft. You get a volunteer to fly a Cessna, the Air Force pretty much just has to pay for the fuel, and it's the same effect. And you also get the community involved.
Thinking again about the high school students we saw showing such interest at the United States Air Force and Civil Air Patrol desks, what specifically will CAP provide to students who do sign up?
Civil Air Patrol offers a lot both at the local level and outside of the community. Locally, a cadet joins Civil Air Patrol, they learn how to wear a uniform, carry themselves in a proper manner, and they learn customs and courtesies. As they progress through the program, they obtain rank and then they obtain more responsibilities, to include looking after younger cadets. And when I say younger, I don't mean in age-wise, but experience-wise. They get to serve their community, they get to learn new skills. They also are educated in aerospace education. They get to do some flying. We recently started a glider program here in South Florida, which a lot of cadets are very excited about. And at the state and national level, there's a lot of schools to include Civic Leadership Academy, National Flight Academy, even an International Air Cadet Exchange Program, which I was able to participate in overseas. You get to meet other cadet counterparts from several different nations. And it's a great opportunity.
I'd like to ask you a little about the other adventures and exciting activities that Civil Air Patrol offers the thousands of members nationwide, young and old, such as encampment and so forth. Tell us about those activities.
Encampment is where a cadet is supposed to go in order to be able to progress through the cadet programs. It's kind of like a mini basic training. It's about a week to 10 days long, and the cadets pretty much live in that facility wherever it's held that year for the whole week. And the cadets that are staff members hold their staff positions throughout the whole week. So it's kind of like a CAP squadron meeting, but extended to last for that time frame. They have to learn to be more self-sufficient, self-reliant. The chain of command is used the whole time. There's no calling mom or dad to ask for help, or they have to follow the timelines, go to sleep when they're supposed to, wake up when they're supposed to, follow physical fitness standards, and they offer a wide range of instruction: emergency services, aerospace education, cadet programs, moral leadership, and other courses.
And these take place where? At U.S. Air Force bases, I understand.
Not necessarily. They're held in various places. If we're lucky enough to get a military installation, that's great. Here in Florida, we currently use Tyndall Air Force Base and Camp Blanding military training site.
I think many parents are concerned with the following. They see how comfortable and frankly spoiled so many children are today, perhaps more than ever. And I think many of them really like the discipline and sense of responsibility imbued in their children as they experience weekly meetings at Civil Air Patrol, where they see an experience like a mini boot camp, and character development and discipline is part of what is imparted to them. What are your thoughts on this?
It can be. A lot of cadets tend to have their world separated. You go to CAP, you're at CAP, you come back home, it's back to normal. In order for it to be something that's spread across their life, I believe the parents need to get more involved, reinforce the positive achievements, and help them out when they have issues, whether they can't pass a test, they're having issues with another cadet, or they're failing the physical fitness. Because you can't come to Civil Air Patrol and practice for Civil Air Patrol in Civil Air Patrol. Just like anything else in life, you take a test, you write a paper, you write it before you go to school, you study before you go to school, you wash your clothes before you go out, you don't do your laundry where you're going. So you have to prepare. It helps you prepare for everything you do in your life.
Sir, before we conclude, please give our audience a message that you'd like to convey and why you'd recommend that more youth join Civil Air Patrol and perhaps later the military.
Civil Air Patrol gives a good foundation for anything you want to do in life. You don't have to go into the military, although I think it's a good option. The best benefit is obviously getting your college paid for, but Civil Air Patrol does help you do more. It prepares you for college, it prepares you to be more self-sufficient, it prepares you to be a person that's able to look forward and plan what you want to do with your life and help you get to that goal.
Sir, this has been most interesting, and I'd like to thank you for being such an excellent role model in inspiring our youth and being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be right back. This concludes our special show today, as we've just witnessed the United States Air Force along with the Civil Air Patrol in their efforts to motivate and inspire today's youth with a possible future in service for our great country. Thank you for being with us.